Okay, so I created this fullback screen pass here, and I want to see if it works. Let's call it, see what happens, and oh no, okay, we got to go back to the drawing board. What's going on YouTube? Wild Lion Games here, exploring the new play creator in Football Simulator. I'm going to show you the good and the not so good, and this is part of their most recent patch update in version 0.05 of the open beta. So the first thing we want to do is when we're in here, we want to go all the way down to playbook, and then we can either actually start editing the default playbook, or we can create a new one and add plays to it, or we can go ahead and just add plays to the existing playbook. So you enter here, and when you hit the formations button, you can't make any of your own formations, but this is just a page to view formations. You can't adjust them, you can't add them. You want to create a new play, you come in here into this play creator, and as you can see, everything is pretty well organized. You have like your list of players with their assignments and all their drop downs, and gives you like a list of routes where they hand the ball off, toss the ball for the quarterback, a screen pass. You could send him out on a route, maybe he's blocking. And I think what is pretty cool about it too is you can actually, it's not just quarterback assignments that you can give to the quarterback. You can give any assignment from any position for any position. I really like that feature. Right now it's not really working as far as, if you were to send the quarterback on a route, it's still gonna snap the ball to the quarterback. So what I'm doing here in the bunch formation is I'm creating a flood concept. So what that is we're gonna have various levels of routes flooding the sideline. And when I say various levels, usually you're gonna have a guy going deep, a guy mid-range, and a guy out in the flats. Your 3 receiver, he's gonna run some sort of like speed out or 5-yard out. Your 2 receivers gonna run a corner or a 10-yard out. And then your 1 receiver, he's gonna end up running like a go route. And then usually what you would do is, some people put like a throwaway route on the backside with that 1. I like to send them on like a drag coming over the top. So that's what we're gonna do with the 1 receiver on the left side over to the field. I'm gonna try and find a route in here to bring him over on a drag route. So, we're bootlegging the quarterback. The running back's going to try and help block the edge for us so we can use him. If it's there right away, we hit that tight end, get the yards that we can. If things are developing and opening up, we have the other routes. And if all else fails, you can look, if you have time in your scramble, you can look backside to that drag route coming across the middle of the field, or, throw it away at that point. And building this play, I'm coming across one of my cons, and that is the organization of all of these options and assignments that you can choose, and also just the accuracy of the routes. We have like quick slant here and like lane diagonal short. I don't know what that is. I don't know what a lane diagonal short route is. This is called a speed out. So for one of my cons for the developers, I guess, and I wouldn't really say it's a con, it's just something that I think needs to be worked on, is A, organization, and then B, the naming of the assignments. Like mid diagonal and lane diagonal short, we don't use those terms. So I think it would be helpful to change it to a speed out. And that mid diagonal, that looks like it's some sort of corner route, so I would just call it a corner route. And same with the deep out diagonal. Again, I know if you flip the plays, it can change it, but short diagonal, that just looks like a slant. And so it would be nice, I guess, 1, to rename some of these, and then 2, as far as organization goes, I would like to see the routes organized by depth. So when you get to like the route options that you can assign players, I think it would make a lot of sense if we could get the routes listed in depth order. So when you're scrolling through the drop down list, you should have your speed out, you should have your slant. Well, actually, I guess technically you should have like your rocket screens and any sort of screen passes, and then you get your slants and your speed outs, and then you start working up to your 5-yard outs, and you start working up to your your hitches and your digs and your corners and posts, and then you have your fades and go routes, right? So you want to work from the shortest route to the longest route. That's how you should organize these, just to make them easier to find as you're scrolling through them. And then another organization thing I would love to see improved in the next patch update, or in just future patch updates, is compacting all of the assignments into like one section. And what I mean by that is you can see here, we have all these different, routes that they can run. And then we start getting into handing the ball off, and then we start getting into blocking assignments, and then we start getting into possible routes that you can run again, and then you start getting into other blocking assignments. And I think it would just help if, you had everything blocking related sectioned into one area, everything pass related, instead of, you're scrolling through and you're looking at routes, and then you come across blocks, but then at the bottom you come across more routes. And it would just be, again, easier to find what you're looking for if all the routes were listed before you got to blocking assignments, and if all the run types for the running back were listed before you got to the routes, or however you organize it. But the point is to just keep everything together. So, and then the other really nice feature I like is practice modes. You can actually get on the field immediately, start running your new plays without having to load up a game. You don't have to worry about down and distance. And when you're walking through plays of practice, you can see what works and what doesn't, and you can make tweaks to those plays just like you would in real life. We do this all the time, where we draw up a concept in the meeting room, we get out onto the field. Very rarely does that play work on your first attempt, and then you have to be like, all right, well, hey, let's tweak this. I noticed that this blocking technique we were having the tackle use wasn't working, so maybe we hash, the offensive line coach sees something he should do differently, or whatever it is. We can make adjustments, and then we can just hop right back into practice mode, and it's really quick. So I really love that. Some pros when it comes to this whole play creation thing, right? What I like so far is, one, it's just a fun feature to be able to add and create your own plays to the playbook. Love that. I think this upgrades the passing plays in the game from their current state, because you can start creating your own concepts like flood and rub and Texas, and a lot of things that the game doesn't have at the moment. So if you want to improve the passing concepts in the game, this is going to be a great way to add in your own flavor to the passing offense. And if you keep wondering why I'm saying passing offense, let's go ahead and get into the cons. And that is, there's a lot of bugs. Handing the ball off doesn't work at the moment. The devs are aware of this, and they're currently working on the issue. It's a bummer that right now when you create a running play, the quarterback's not going to hand the ball off. He's just going to keep it to himself, which kind of sucks. So it doesn't matter how you do the assignments, doesn't matter what you change. He just won't hand the ball off at the moment. So that's something that needs to be fixed. I do think the UI needs a ton of work. It's a little messy. Navigating between menu items can be tightened up, and I already talked about this earlier, but the organization of assignments and the renaming of them, I think, should be reworked and reorganized, and same with the route tree being reorganized to more common names as well. I would love the ability to make alignment adjustments to formations, like cutting down my receiver splits, adding rules to receiver splits too, which I'm sure would require a lot more coding. But it would be nice, if you're on the right hash and you have a single receiver out to the field on the left, it would be nice to be able to cut his split down to the difference between the numbers in the hash. Or if I have trips to the boundary, then my receivers are going to be a tad tighter and almost more into like a bunch formation. So it would be nice to add conditions like that, make formation adjustments, and maybe even create our own formations. That would be an exciting addition. But right now, I love the ambition by the development team at Refactor Games, and there's a ton of exciting content coming to the table for Football Simulator. However, at the moment, I think the plate is pretty full of a lot of side dishes. I would like to see the main dish, aka gameplay and animations, to be perfected and cleaned up a little bit, and also same with some of these side dishes like the play creator and season mode to be cleaned up and presented better before we start adding more to the plate. And I know they have a lot more coming, but right now I would rather have, instead of new features, I would rather have those new features be dialed back until we get some of the current ones tuned up and in a good position. That's it from me, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up. Every like helps, and until next time, peace.